place is Lin and today we'll visit the Cup Noodle Museum in Yokohama. It's about 15 minutes by walk from Sakuragicho Station. This museum doesn't only provide you a great chance to learn about how instant noodle was invented, but also allows you to make your own unique noodle. The entrance ticket is only 500 yen, which is super cheap and makes this place even more worthwhile to visit. Before heading inside the museum, if you have any heavy luggage, don't forget to leave them in the locker for free. I'm ready now, so let's go! After entering, the first thing you'll see is this area with hundreds of different types of noodles being displayed. There are all kinds of instant noodle packs as well as cup noodles. Besides Japanese noodles, you'll also be able to find noodles from other countries. I was so happy to see some Vietnamese noodles here, and these are actually very common food in Vietnam. Right next to this room is the Momofuku theater, where you learn about what kinds of struggles that Ando Momofuku had to overcome to create cup noodles. So this is Ando Momofuku, and this is where he went through tons of experiments and made the first chicken ramen in the world through a process of trial and error. After trying so many different ways to dry the noodle and fail, he finally found out that flash frying is the best method. By cooking the noodle in extremely hot oil for a short period of time, he was able to boil away the water inside the noodle. However, this museum is much more than just about how Ando Momofuku invented the first noodle. It's actually about the creative process that he went through. In this museum, you'll find 6 creative thinking boxes equivalent to 6 most important things to come up with new invention. The first box is about discovering something completely new, and you'll walk into a dark room with projection on the wall telling the story about how several things were invented, like instant noodle, airplane, mobile phone, washing machines, and so on. The second box is about finding hints for your ideas from everywhere and everything around you. There are several objects on the wall, and as soon as you touch them, you will know where the inventor of that got the idea from. For example, the Shinkansen was designed based on the shape of the bill of a bird called kingfisher. Or the design of the needle was actually inspired by the mosquito stinger. Also, even Ando Momofuku himself got the idea of flash frying the noodle when he saw his wife frying tempura. Before going to this museum, I didn't know about the relation between helicopter and dragonfly, or vacuum cleaner and tornado either. Thanks to this museum, I think I was able to learn many new things. The theme of the third box is nurturing idea. The creators of this museum want to tell visitors that ideas are like trees and they need to be cultivated by many people, not just one person. Even though I think what they want to convey doesn't directly connect with the exhibition itself, it's quite fascinating to see how they use a moving light to create the projection of a jungle on the wall. Box number 4 is about looking at things from every angle. Well, I guess you can just look at this flying cup noodle from different directions. The fifth box is about questioning even the norm and the common sense. For this, you'll find a room with 3 cup noodles of different size, but from a certain angle, they all look the same. It's quite similar to the one you can find in any trick eye museum. The theme of the last creative thinking box is never give up. On this wall, you'll find stories of several famous people who became successful because they just chose not to stop and keep working harder toward their dreams and goals. To be honest, this area is super inspiring. All of the creative thinking boxes in this museum are connected to the life story of Ando Momofuku. At the age of 47, Ando Momofuku's business failed and he lost everything, but he didn't just let that discourage him. After seeing so many hungry people and how so many Japanese line up for ramen in front of restaurants, he decided to make a type of noodle that can be easily eaten with boiled water at home. He started his research and did it for a year, and during that period, he only slept around 4 hours per day. When he was 48 years old, he finally found out how to dry the noodle as I mentioned before. That was when he created the first instant noodle called chicken ramen. This was referred to as the magic ramen because of the way it can be made by only pouring boiled water in. Even though this product was quite expensive, it got more and more popular that he started to mass produce it and built the first factory. In 1966, during his business trip to America, he saw Americans putting chicken ramen in a cup and eat it with a fork. This gave him the idea of making the first cup noodle. It wasn't an easy process either, and he had to solve many problems in order to mass produce this product. For example, the noodle can get broken while being transported, and he solved this by suspending it in the middle of the cup. Or the machine cannot place the noodle inside the cup easily without being tilted over, so he solved this by turning the cup upside down and placing it over the noodle first. Also, to make it even easier for people to eat cup noodle, he even set up hot water dispensing vending machine. Thanks to his continuous effort, instant noodle gets so popular not just inside Japan but also abroad. In 2005, when he was already over 90 years old, Ando Momofuku created the first space ramen called Space Ram. Just to further prove his message, there's no such thing as too late in life. He passed away 2 years later, and I have to say that the way he lived his life was very inspiring. Anyway, that is the end of the main exhibition, so I headed to the 3rd floor to make my own cup noodle. In order to participate in this experience, you have to receive a number ticket, and I recommend you getting it right after you get inside the museum. Unfortunately, I didn't do that, so I had to wait for 1 hour. You can also experience the entire process of making noodle at chicken ramen factory, but it's so popular that you have to make a reservation in advance. While waiting until my turn, I went to the 4th floor and had lunch at the noodle bazaar. Here they have 8 types of noodles from 8 different countries, and each bowl is quite small and only costs 300 yen, so you can try several types at the same time. Besides the noodles, they also sell desserts from Italy, China, Vietnam, Thailand, and Japan. This food bazaar is self-service, so you have to look at this map to find the booth that sells the noodle that you want. When it was my turn, I was guided by the staff to a table, and the design inside is so Southeast Asian. I decided to try laksa from Malaysia first, so I bought a ticket from the machine in front of the laksa booth. I was so hungry, but the noodle was just okay and a bit salty for me. By the way, my seat was right in front of this area with super Vietnamese design, which was super cool, and even the table looked so Vietnamese. The second noodle bowl that I got was lakman from Kazakhstan, and I think I like this one the most out of all the noodles that I tried. The last one that I had was pho from Vietnam. I was sure that it would not have the right taste, but I was curious how bad it could be. However, the noodle was so bad, even worse than I expected, so I would not recommend you to try this. I was really impressed how they made the design of the shop look so Vietnamese. By the way, if you come with children, you can also let your kids play in the cup noodle park, and it costs 300 yen for 30 minutes. After lunch, it was finally time to make cup noodles, so I went back to the 3rd floor. I gave my number ticket to the staff, then purchased a cup from the vending machine. Again, the cup is only 300 yen, and that's all you have to pay for this experience. Everyone has to wash their hand with alcohol before going further. Then the staff will give you a plastic lid to cover your empty cup. The staff will explain some rules before guiding you to a table to decorate your own cup. This is how my empty cup looks like, and I have to write the date I make it on there. The staff told me that I have to eat it within a month from this day. There are a lot of color pens in the middle, and this is a sample of how I should decorate my cup. Here's my design, and I drew my most favorite characters, which are Perry the Platypus, Peach, and Over-Asian Rabbit. I also drew myself on this cup even though it doesn't really look like me. Before you go, you can take a look at the menu in front of your seat to check out what toppings and what soup flavor they offer in advance. Once you're done, just bring your cup to the next area and line up to start making your own noodle. The first step is to put the noodle inside the cup, and all you have to do is just to give the staff your empty cup and turn the handle like this. Next, you can choose 1 out of 4 soup flavor and 4 out of 12 toppings. I decided to get chili tomato flavor with shrimp, fish sausage, kimchi, and chicken. My noodle looks so good already. After filling out the cup, they seal it and wrap it with plastic bag. However, there is still air inside, so the next step is to shrink wrap the cup with this machine. Now my cup noodle is ready. The last thing that I have to do is to blow air into the plastic package to make it look like this. After getting one red string, I started to pump the air inside. I was too stupid and didn't know how to do it properly, so it ended up looking like this. After you finish pumping air inside the package, you can carry it around like a crossbody bag. Because of my horrible pumping skill, my noodle actually fell out of the package. Anyway, I still really enjoyed the experience. Before leaving the museum, I went to the souvenir shop to see what they were selling, and I found some interesting stuffs. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Subscribe and turn on the bell for more videos about life and travel in Japan. I wish you a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon. Bye!